Getting out of a financial mess. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee, and I thought we'd have a look at this survey poll question I put to the viewers of my channel. I asked this a few days ago. We've had 922 votes. Did you get yourself into a financial mess? Let us know the lessons you learned and how you improved your life in the comments, please. So 32% said yes, and 68% said no. Now, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with making some financial mistakes. It happens. One thing a viewer asked me to watch, there's this new series on SBS, Can You Live Below the Breadline? And the striking thing there wasn't how some people on the dole were doing it tough, or, they're pissing away money on smokes, or, bad budgeting. I mean, that happens. That wasn't that confronting to me. What was confronting was these politicians that had no idea what it was like to do it tough, or had such a privileged life, their entire life. They've never had to worry about money. Okay? There's some people there that have never had to worry about money. Now, that's the goal you want to be in. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to be loaded. You just want to be at a point where you have enough money, either as passive income coming in, or you've got a variety of ways to bring money in that you don't need to stress. That's it. Then the next step is where you have control over your time. It just builds up to more and more freedom. And honestly, I think there's kind of a sweet spot where you've got enough coming in, where you don't have any stress, you've got control of your time, but you don't have too much stuff that you need to, that it becomes more of a job in itself. But, that's for another argument. So I thought that was interesting. Some of these politicians that are representing Australians, they're talking all this shit, they've got no idea. Anyway, so let's have a look at some of the comments that you left here. So, Drazik said, I had a terrible relationship with my earnings. It ran through my fingers because I was trying to buy back my soul after exhausting myself with work. After getting myself out of debt, I got some advice during casual conversation. If you want to keep your wealth, but you have a purchase thrill issue when it comes to fancy things, start acquiring precious metal bullion. You get to buy, plus you get to keep it for later, win-win. It worked for me anyway. So he became a stacker. A bullion stacker. And I can relate to that. I was talking to a colleague the other day. A dad was asking advice on getting some silver. And, there is, even just having a few bars just in case, as, insurance. An insurance and emergency fund, something that's harder for you to liquidate, that if you need some money, you can take it to the pawnbrokers, get some cash, and you can buy food. Just always there. Better than having piles of cash, because hopefully, well, it won't be inflated away, but, silver and gold aren't doing too well at the moment. So let's have a look. What did Common Ground said? Big lesson, don't sign contracts for anything that's either going to depreciate in value or you might not use. No phones, no phone plan, no car loans, no locked-in gym memberships, etc. Yeah, that's not a Bachelor 101 saying a wife. Come on, lads. Come on. I mean, here's the thing. Finding a wife, it's great when you do it young and you build your life together. Okay? Because one of Rachel's family members, they've split up. Young couple, about to get married, they just broke up. And that's pretty much a divorce, sadly. And they've spent 10 years together, just about to get married, and it's over. And Rachel and I were thinking about that. For us, we've worked together in our job, raising a family, everything. And it's kind of a bit different. And then when you come together at an older age, say 30, and you meet someone, you both have all this wealth accumulated that you haven't built together, it's kind of a different dynamic. So, lipstick on. I learned from my working class parents, pay your bills first, buy food next, put money away for your future bills, and nothing else. And, I haven't expanded that. Okay. But good. I like that one. You know what? Let's find that one here. Here we go. We'll bring it up. Buy food next, put away money for future bills, spend what's left on non-essentials. In our house, there wasn't much. I've always followed this advice and never had any money issues. There you go. So, Dean, Traveled to Southeast Asia at 40 after a breakup. Going from cashed up to cash gone in 10 years. Going broke doesn't have to be the worst time of your life. Well, okay. I mean, that's good. It's only money, guys. It's only money. I think people want money because they don't want to have the stress associated with not having money. That's what it is. And what shocks me that politicians don't remember what it's, or haven't even experienced that. I mean, wouldn't you want that from our leaders? Or is that just my experience? I mean, I'm a small business owner, guys. Being a small business owner has a lot of challenges. And one of them is, making sure the money keeps coming in. I tell you, when you have a lot of staff, you got to pay them before you pay yourself. So, Danvar Ragnar. Yep, I was constantly in debt until I found my partner. Youth is a great period in which to make your mistakes. I feel for those who take big risks late in life and lose the toss. Having said that, if you can pull yourself back up once, you can do it again. Stay safe all. Fred, I stopped buying depreciating assets that make other people think I'm rich. I've started working 60 hours a week before kids, so I don't have to later. Goodbye, $25,000 tax bill. Oh, mate. So Fred's earning good money. He's earning good money, and he's paying good taxes. It's not fun paying the... when people ask you if you got something back in tax and you just laugh at them. Back in tax? Life lesson from Ian. Don't listen to financial advisors. There's no crystal ball for life. Common sense and gut feelings is more credible and free. Oh, you got to be careful. A lot of people have their gut feelings that they're FOMOing into buying like some stupid crypto coin that's going to crash. Like that, what was it? That Squid Game coin. That was a complete con. Those people are using their crystal balls. So, Vaughn. I took out a personal loan at 18 to buy a car. It was only 10 grand over 5 years and managed to pay it back early, but still the dumbest financial thing I've done. Taught me a lesson about interest and value of assets. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, cars are worthless. Cars are essentially worthless, most of them. Come on, how much money did you lose on them? Gentlemen, if it floats Fs, it's always cheaper to rent. Floats. Okay. I thought that was a fun one. Bram. At one stage, I had a $50,000 in credit card debt. 50 grand, guys. I paid it all down and now on track to have 30,000 in savings for my first home. Very good. Good work, Bram. Good work. Great work, stay out of debt, Focusing on getting better. Just been decharged. Oh, boy, the poor guy. Oh, there you go. He's had some health issues too. Take care of yourself, mate. You're on the right track, though. Getting rid of that credit card debt. That'll be a stress reduction right there. Jake. I took out multiple personal loans to fund my holidays over 5 years, adding up to $30,000. Oh, loans for holidays. Being young and naive, I didn't understand what I was doing, and the bank was fully aware of this and still accepted me while paying 16% interest. Wasn't until I became financially literate during COVID, switched to ING and paid 7% interest and paid off the remaining 12 grand of debt in 3 months. That's awesome. But notice this. Jake got his shit together during the pandemic, during the COVID. This is why, honestly, I think for some people, it's a slap in the face that some need it, to sort their shit out. Here's one from Steve. Can't control world events. Bought a business 3 months before the GFC. 3 years of misery and good lessons. Divorce was the best thing to come out of it, along with having zero debt. Money in the bank. 56 years old, haven't worked for the man for the last 10 years. Unless you're planning to have kids, never get married or even live with a woman. This is the sad thing. A lot of guys get really done over by the women. I mean, that's the risk. You got to find a good one. I mean, here's the thing. You don't know you're good together until you go through some real tough times. Then you really see if she'll stick by you. So, Robert, most people think we are poor, but we have no debts and very minimal expenses. Most people don't understand finance. Yes. I mean, that's the thing. Rachel and I, we're still trying to live as cheap as we can, just because, you want to build up passive income. Intellectualer. After working in my first job for some months, I continued living like a student, and one day checked my bank account and was surprised to find $9,000 in there. Oh boy, I remember that, going from being a student to actually getting your first real money. Proceeded over the next 18 months to live beyond my means, to burn through my salary and savings, as well as a further $5,000 gift. Went on a holiday and halfway through went to the ATM to get yet another $50 out, and it declined. Withdrawing due to insufficient funds. Screwed up my holiday a bit, but I'll never forget the lessons. Yes. Yeah, that's a tough one. So, Sishun Chow. I've been through a few recessions in multiple countries where work was scarce. 1. Save for a rainy day. 2. Learn to live with minimal expenditure. 3. Have a backup essential skill in a different industry and even location. Now, that's an interesting one. Having a backup. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, everyone. That's a good one there. You want to diversify. I mean, how many people have side gigs? Maybe that's one to ask. How many people have a side gig or a little thing on the side? We'll do that for another survey. Steve. I've had some good years in business in 2012 and 13. At the time, I was rolling in cash and splurged on 2 new cars and bought a home. But before the home loan even settled, the business had dried up. I went from $250K a year to $70. Oh, boy. With a partner going through IVF to have our first and only child, that alone cost $60,000. Oh. Fast forward to the end of 2020, I've taken the different home loan payments, used the extra cash to clean up the house and sell. Oh, good. Yeah. 2 new cars when you're not even mortgage free. And the worst part is I knew I was doing it wrong the whole time. Yeah. Okay. So Steve learned his lessons there. $60,000 for IVF. IVF isn't cheap, guys. That's another expense. Free thought domain. Oh, good on him that he's pulled it all together. Free thought. I had savings, but it was not enough. I've had 2 surgeries this year and support myself through these with my own savings and super. Working hard to get myself out of it while taking anything I can to pay my bills. So Free is doing it tough. Best of luck to you. Keep going. Find ways to save money. You'll do it. You'll do it. Here's the thing. If you're going through a tough time and you don't know how you're going to get through the month or the week or even the day, you just go down to a smaller unit going, okay, I'm going to get through this day, it'll get sorted. I'll get through the second day, it'll get sorted. And sometimes you just need to keep powering, going to a smaller time unit, powering through that and just keep pushing ahead. Because there is there will always be a light at the end of the tunnel, although it's just sometimes harder to see that. I remember years ago on Christmas Eve, legal action against us from a pissed off client. Letter arrived on Christmas Eve. That's awesome. Awesome Christmas Eve present there. It all got sorted out eventually, but that's just a real harsh move. You gotta love lawyers. So, poor uni student and lift off credit. Big mistake. Ooh, very tough to get back to a debt-free situation. Lesson learned. You don't need to have what others have. People still survive without it. Yes, that's the thing. Seeing others. I know when I was at uni, I couldn't understand how people could afford all this stuff, and now I realize they were either getting money from their government, or they were borrowing money, or their parents were just giving them money. From 2010 to 2013, I took out $2.5 million in mortgages to buy $3.3 million worth of houses. The total value is now over $8 million, and I've gone up 50% in that time too, the rents. So, Intravena has done fantastic. Played the game, and took a big risk. But there you go. Built it up from 2.5 to 8 million. Good work. That's the thing. That's what a lot of people do here in Australia, to build up a property portfolio. And we saw in a previous article about ANZ predicting a house price crash, and then people are trying to wait and time the market. How many people are waiting and missing opportunities? How many people are focusing on the negative and the doom and news, or the economy is going to collapse, and miss opportunities? That's a consideration. I think a lot of people are doing that. Then they'll get angry and jealous. So good on him. Good work. Cheers. Just don't you dare go bitching and moaning to a current affair. Oh no, my $8 billion house portfolio has gone down. You got to man up and cop it, if you lose 5%. So, Evo Robin. Took out a car loan at 17.5% while I could afford it. I learned a lesson, yes. I have not cleared a balance on the credit card in 15 years. I haven't not. Okay. So, Evo has kept the credit card at zero, pretty much cleared the balance. I mean, I have one credit card for work, $500, and it's just because I can't be bothered changing all the credit card numbers for the Microsoft or for this or this. And if I need to spend more than that, I'll just put more money on it. Whereas, back when we had the business, when we had a whole, 5 people working with us, I think it got real tough when I had $100,000 outstanding and they just delayed payment. And you've got to pay your staff, you've got to pay your rent, you've got to pay this. And I would hate to be a subby in the construction game where you're actually buying equipment and fixing it to people's projects, and then you don't see that again. Oh yeah. So, Lara Lucate. An ex left me on purpose with it. Forging my signature. I paid it. Ripped up the credit card. I owe no one anything and never will again. Never buy what you do not need and cannot afford. Yep. The tax man is my biggest bugbear from FarQ. Yes, well, yeah. I mean, that's why, one of the reasons why, in Trevena, I bet you, he was using negative gearing. This is the thing. I know people who worked in civil service, in the drafting department. They would get huge loans to just offset. The banks would love them because they're civil servants. They're never going to get fired. And they'd borrow money to get into housing. Because you want a negative gear. Because we all pay so much tax. This is the thing. And watching this episode about all the people on the welfare, and you're thinking, okay, they're complaining about smokes, they're complaining about fuel, they're complaining about travel. How much of that is all taxed? These people are struggling, and there's, everyone's calling for increases to welfare. How about we just reduce the taxes on some of these costs that everyone has? You get rid of the petrol tax, maybe make public transport affordable, or even make it free to someone on New Start. Why not that? There you go. Rather than give more money and cash away. Anyway, always pay yourself first no matter what, from random numbers and letters. Yes, that's a good advice, but sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can't, If you're running a small business, you got to keep your people employed. You got to keep it all going. You got to pay that first. You got to pay your bills first before you pay yourself, sadly. That's also one of the reasons why I've scaled back my business, why I haven't bothered with the staff anymore, and I only work for people I want to work for that aren't going to pressure me as much. And I'm making more money. Is that bad, guys? I guess, you just have to figure it out with time. So, Marco Polo, after 8 years out of college and got a good job, I had spent all of the $400K earned and was $30K in debt with nothing to show for it. I spent most of it on women, drugs, and booze. The rest I just wasted. It's easy for money to just disappear. When you look at the end of the year, looking at how much money you've earned, you've got $100,000 through your fingers, $200,000 through your fingers, $300,000 through your fingers. Where's it all gone? There's tradies, they're earning good money and then they're pissing it all away. They're not realizing on drinks every Friday night or on the smoko chick buying a meat pie. All of this stuff adds up, guys. It all adds up. That's why I like the micro payments on the mortgages. Chuck $10 here, $5 here, $20 here, build it up, and then all of a sudden, oh crap, I'm a month ahead on my mortgage. With my passive pocket money investing, chuck $10 here, $20 here, just start building up shares. And all of a sudden, oh great, you got all these shares now. Bit by bit, little bits grow into something bigger. Invalid divorce. The lesson was never put the wife as signature of trust accounts. Full spectrum, credit card at 18, need I say more? Yeah, I kind of did that too, guys. When I had a credit card and I would go get cash advances after work and then we'd just go get on the piss. Paid 10% deposit on an off-the-plan property that ended up taking 5 years to build. Oh, Ben. By then, I was made redundant and had to pull out and lost the deposit. Lesson learned, don't trust builders. Off-plan purchasers and lawyers who say 5-year sunset clauses is normal. Alex, I paid off my Afterpay and Zip Pay. Deleted those accounts. Oh, cheers. Cheers to that. Fantastic. I'm now working on paying off my credit card as soon as possible so I can turn to my car loan and personal loan. So she's getting her shit together. Sounds like it's been a bit of a mess, but that's it. That's the snowball strategy. Just hit it one after the other. You don't need all the crap. You don't need to live the luxurious life. No one cares. No one really cares. So, Toby. Got out big loans to travel the world when young and before COVID. Paid it all back during COVID. Worked out amazingly. So he did really well. He traveled, and then probably was forced to work and couldn't spend anything. I think that's more luck than anything, Toby. So, if you say so. I learned that people who spend what they don't have on crap trying to impress people that don't care and big note brag, boast themselves, deserve absolutely zero part of my frugal, very happy life. It's called disease of the ego. Yeah. Yep, you're right there. Advanced dad. Married the wrong woman and had 3 kids with her. Got divorced and starting over at 49. Well, good luck to you, mate. I hope it all works out. It's tough starting again. Ashley. I learned to resist the urge to buy shit and stop spending money. I'm hoping a lot of people have learned that from this COVID stuff. I mean, I splurged recently. I bought a computer game on discount and, some new earpods. But I'm not as bad as I was by any measure. $80 a month on a plaything is not that bad, but good. Joseph, marry the right woman that doesn't resent you for working all the time to give her the type of life that buys her likes on social media. Or don't marry a woman that is worried about buying likes on social media. So someone who isn't so self-absorbed about that crap. I mean, okay, it's they're all going to brag and compete one way or another. But you don't want one that is nuts about it. Bachelor 101. Married a solo mum who loved me till she could take me. Take my money. Lost my life's work, which I was a saver. Broke at 35 living with mum. Well, mate, pull it all. It's not the end. You're still 35. You've still got amount of time to build it up. It's okay. And nothing wrong with doing a stint back at home if you need to build up the cash. That's what parents are for. They signed up for it. It's kind of why we're building our house so big. So, Jeremy, number 1 rule, don't buy liabilities. Number 2 rule, buy assets. Number 3 rule, understand the difference. True. Ray, 1, if it puts money in your pockets, it's an asset. If it takes money out of your pocket, it's a liability. If you can't put your hands on it, you don't own it. Simple. 67% no dreaming. So Mark, sorted my financial mess out by separating from my ex, AMD, and started Ubering. Much better place now. I mean, Ubering, it's good for cash flow, guys. If you need cash flow, money coming in, it's. I mean, in the long run, when you account that the cost of a car depreciating, all this other stuff, it's probably not the best way to do it. But if you're good at it, if you enjoy talking to people, it's not a hard job. Okay, it's not as stressful as other things. It's good. So, good on you. Good work, Mark. Ashley, credit card debt. I got out of it unscathed. Good work. Got into a whole bunch of credit card debt. Found out you could do a balance transfer to zero interest card. I had to pay off over 24 months. Like a favor with the bank, they get to charge 2 annual fees, so $200 bucks. So, made out much. Hang on, wait, we'll get the rest. I want to see this one. Okay. Made, but much cheaper than the 20% interest I still would have paid off. Also, there you go. Good work. Good work, Ashley. Hopefully you got rid of the credit cards. I mean, you don't really need them. It's Visa now, they've put their fees up in the UK, so Amazon are going to refuse to take them. What innovation has come out of Visa and MasterCard? What innovation? What efforts? Hardly anything. Like JC said, if you can't buy it twice, you can't afford it. There you go. Jim Rue, starting my own business, getting taxed into the dirt. Yeah, that's a reality test check for a lot of people, realizing how much taxes you get paid, or you have to pay. It'd be great if you get paid. But no, it's only the big companies that can do the crony capitalism that can take advantage of that. So, never borrow, never marry. So many bachelors, guys. Come on. You got to find a good woman that will put up with the shit through life with you together so you build a family and a future together. Or is that, I just got lucky to be with my wife, okay? I can't say there was any magic strategy I can suggest. Putting away money every week buying gold and silver from not me. Government is taxing me a whole third of my income, though. Yeah, well, that's why you got a negative gear. CH, I will never have a credit card ever again. Save up and purchase instead. Pay bills first, then food and necessities, save the rest. Bonnie, I own nothing and I'm happy. Preparing for the Great Reset. That's another approach, guys. Materialism, you'd be amazed how much stuff you don't need. Really, how much stuff you do not need. Pork. I went through McDonald's drive-thru thinking the cheeseburger was $2.20, it was $4.80. Couldn't reverse my car because there was another car behind me. This set me broke because McDonald's manipulated advertising. I know that you should do your homework before entering the drive-thru. Well, okay. Pork got ripped off by a cheeseburger. And Rando, over a third of your viewers have been in financial ruin. No, there's not financial ruin, it's financial mess. That explains the anti-property perma-bear comments. So Rando is not quite getting it. I said a financial mess, mate. I'm surprised. Who hasn't made a mistake? 67% of people haven't done anything. 68 haven't done anything stupid. Good on you. I don't know how many of you are being honest there. We haven't done anything stupid, but okay. Good. No. I did, however, get into a hot mess. Okay. NBK. Back in 2010, my husband decided to do a 2-year course. Each month, the course cost was $680. That's like paying the car rego for 2 years every month. We even struggled to pay the car rego every year. There was no way we could break the contract. We were only on one income under $45K, plus paying the monthly mortgage. It was tough. Some days we couldn't eat 3 meals. We hustled, and I started working casually and gradually did full-time. I'll never forget those days. Off-grid got divorced, got custody, got broke. Dean, never borrow money off friends. Stop kidding yourself. Yeah, that's an old rule. Never lend money to friends. Give money to friends. So, Blackjack55. Made the move to Queensland, but didn't do my research. Had trouble finding work even in the hospitality industry. Ran out of money 3 times and had to borrow off family. After 6 months and $25K down due to moving costs, we moved back in with the in-laws. We had left a house on rent to fall back on, and thankfully 3 years later we're back home in $60K. Good work. So, that's the challenge of moving, guys. Cut up my credit card from Constantine and Nick, got rid of all debt, and I'm not getting back into it again. So there we go, everyone. Those are the, lessons that people had with regards to, there's one here. Oh, I guess they deleted it. There was an interesting one as someone had put everything into, followed a lot of Peter Schiff's advice and put it all into miners that kind of crashed. So anyway, guys, let's have a bit of a talk about this. So the takeaways here is that if you find yourself in a financial mess, maybe you've got credit card debt, you've got other loans, you've got Afterpay, you just racked up something, you've done something stupid. There's nothing wrong with admitting that to yourself and cleaning house. The first step is to realize you've made a mistake and sort it out. Okay, lots of people have done it. We've all done stupid things. Well, 32% of us have done stupid things. 68% of us watching are just, fantastic. Good work. But, you can turn it around. And we've seen lots of stories here, success stories of how people have turned around from stupid financial decisions. So I'd like to encourage you all to do that, guys. And check out this video about living the debt-free life. That's the goal. You want to have enough money so you don't need to work on things you don't have to, and you can live stress-free. That's it. And debt, well, that's one thing you want off your back, guys. Take care, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.